Hello and welcome to day 20 of your 30-day yoga journey, Spring Awakening with me, Noelle. Today we have a very special practice to honor the spring equinox. So we are going to do a happy combination of where we go through some sun salutations that will transition into a more kind of moon-like flow. So I'm going to do kind of like a moon salutation with some essence of kind of like a more, instead of super grounding, there is going to be a little bit more fiery energy, I suppose, maybe more fluid energy like from last week. And so it's going to be a nice full practice in honor of the equinox. Since what else are we here for than to honor the spring equinox this season, the transformation and equilibrium? And so for the equinox equilibrium, we are going to begin in a comfortable seat. Before I forget, actually, you might want two blocks at the top of your mat. Actually, no, bring one to the top of your mat and one to the back of your mat, because we will be kind of going still in that like seesaw back and forth like a moon salutation would. So one block in the top, one block on the bottom of your mat, and maybe a strap. And then once you've got all your props and everything else you might need, come to a comfortable seat, whether you sit on a bolster, a block, a pillow to begin, because we are going to start with some gentle pranayama. We're going to do a box breath. And so to begin, let's just settle in. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart center or just allow them to fall naturally on your thighs. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. Begin to connect to your breath. Maybe you just take some nice deep breaths. Maybe an audible exhale. Breathing in through the nose and either out through the mouth or out through the nose. Grounding through your sit bones. Spine nice and long. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. Take a couple half neck circles if that feels good. Releasing any tension in the jaw or the face, the space between the brow. And set your intention for your practice. It can be I am balanced, since the equinox is that perfect harmony and balance of night and day. You can stick with I am articulate, being mindful in each posture and during each transition. Or maybe it's just to get through this video. And it can be as simple as that. So when you're ready, bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And let's begin by taking one big releasing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So for our box breath, I will guide you. We're going to count for 4 breaths in, hold for four counts, and then exhale for 4 counts, and then hold again for the count of 4. So it goes in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And then we will begin. So take a deep inhale in, exhale, and we'll go for inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a couple more rounds on your own, counting to yourself. Allow your hands to fall naturally in your lap, or maybe you bring them to your heart center. And take a nice, beautiful, buoyant breath in. And let something go. Hopefully you feel a little more relaxed than you did just a moment ago. And we will begin by coming into a tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders. And then this time, scoot your knees a little farther back and curl your toes under and send your hips back. So we're kind of in like this puppy meets extended / child's pose position here. So spine is nice and long. Your chin is slightly tucked. And so there's no flopping or super resting. Everything's a little engaged here. And we're going to do some super slow, super mindful spinal waves here. So as you inhale, tuck your chin and curl your spine slowly, slowly, slowly until your shoulders come over your wrists, and then drop your belly, shine your heart forward as you melt your hips back to your heels. Beautiful. Do a few more like that, nice and slow, mindful and soft, playing with this super soft energy, no rushing. Relishing each articulate movement. Maybe you start to make some circular motion here. Maybe you bring the neck in a little bit. Staying in that constant connection with your breath. Connecting breath to movement. And then the next time your hips are back towards your heels, peel your tailbone all the way up towards the sky and find your downward facing dog. So first downward dog of the practice. Pedal out your feet, heels reaching towards the earth, hands in line with the shoulders, ears in line with the shoulders, spine nice and long. We know the drill. Feeling it out. Maybe you come onto your toes and bring your heels towards the right side of your mat and bend in your knees, finding a beautiful opening in the left side body here. Take a look at the screen if you need. Some downward dog twists. And then back to center, coming onto your toes, and then bringing your heels to the left corner of your mat, finding a nice, beautiful opening and twist here. So you can go side to side, opening the body, saying hello, or maybe you find stillness. So 2 more to 3 more breaths. in our downward facing dog. Starting nice and slow today. We're in no rush to get anywhere. We do enough rushing throughout the day. Just being present in each moment and during each transition. I am present. And then do a nice slow walk all the way to the top of your yoga mat. Feet coming behind the palms and come into a forward fold. Drop the head loose, maybe shake it yes, little no. Hands coming to the earth, to your ankles or shins, or maybe you grab opposite elbow. Belly melting towards your thigh and just opening into that back body, allowing the blood to rush opposite directions in the upper body here. Really inviting this soothing energy to start cultivating compassion for ourselves so we can hopefully be a little more compassionate off the mat as well. And when you're ready, slowly roll up all the way to the top of your yoga mat, finding your Tadasana. Hands at your sides or at your heart center, grounding down all four corners of your feet, connecting back to your intention. And so we're going to go through 3 sun salutation A's and 3 sun salutation B's. We're going to take them not super slow. I want it to be, we're not going to rush through it, is how I'll put it. But we're going to find a nice flow while we do them today. So inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find length, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step your heels back to plank, and flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. On your next exhale, make your way to the top. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, fingertips reach towards the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, hands come back to the sky. Exhale, float all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, find space. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back, float through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe you find some hip circles here for your 3 breaths. Open hips, square hips. Maybe you really relish in the stillness, but this downward dog is for you. Listening to your body, and then making your way back to the top of the mat. Inhaling, finding space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. And find your Tadasana once again. Last sun salutation A. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Meeting back in downward facing dog. 2 more breaths here. Make your way back to the top of the mat. Inhale, find space. Exhale, fold. This time, hinge at your hips, bend in your knees, find your Utkatasana, chair pose. Extra breath here. And then rise up and find your Tadasana. So we are going to move on to our 3 sun salutation beads. So inhale, reach your fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale, Utkatasana. Goodness, I keep on saying Uttanasana. Utkatasana. Chair pose. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length. And then exhale, plant your palms, step it back, flow through your vinyasa, meeting all of us back in the downward facing dog. This time, drop your left heel, reach your right heel towards the sky, square hip. Step it in and through, finding your warrior one or your high lunge. Extra breath here. And then exhale, float it down, step it back, flow through your vinyasa, meeting back in downward facing dog. Drop your right heel, lift your left heel towards the sky, and then bring it in and through, finding your left side high lunge or warrior one. Extra breath here. Exhale, float it down, step it back, flowing through your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Deep bend in the knees, hinge at your hips. See how low you can go. And then exhale, Tadasana. Extra breath here. All right, let's go again. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find length. Then exhale, plant the palms, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Where we'll all meet once again in a downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Drop your left heel, reach your right heel towards the sky. Step it in and through, finding your high lunge or warrior once again. Inhale, and exhale, float it down, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Coming back to downward facing dog, drop your right heel, lift your left heel towards the sky. Exhale, step it through, and find your lunge or warrior one. Stay connected to your breath. Inhale here, then exhale, plant the palms, step it back, float it through, meeting back in a downward facing dog. Let's take a nice big releasing breath together. Inhaling through the nose, then exhale, let something go, and make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, find space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Hands to your heart center or reaching up and towards your ears. Exhale, come back to your Tadasana. Connecting back to your breath if you lost it. And it's our final sun salutation beat. So here we go. Inhale, chair pose, bending at the knees and hinging at your hips. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, find length. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back, flow through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Drop your left heel, reach your right heel towards the sky. Step it in and through, high lunge or warrior one. Inhale here, exhale, float it down, step it back, and float through your vinyasa. You're doing great. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop your right heel, left heel towards the sky. Stepping in and through, finding left side high lunge or warrior one. Inhale here, then exhale, float it down, step it back, float through your vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. And then all the way back to your beautiful, much deserved downward facing dog. So good. Nothing like some sun salutations to really get the juices flowing. One more breath here in your downward facing dog. And then make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, fold. Last time for chair pose, Utkatasana. Let's hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then rise up in your Tadasana. Wonderful job. Coming back to your intention before we move on to our lunar flow. Connecting to both the sun and the moon today as we embrace the harmony of day and night. So when you're ready, step out wide. So basically like a wide-legged forward fold with your feet, but have your toes pointing towards the corners of your mat. We're going to come down into goddess. So bend, deep bend in your knees. Your hands can come to heart center, or to begin, they can come onto your thighs. Maybe you find a beautiful little sway side to side here. Your hands, like the outside of your hands, can also be pressing into the inside of your thighs here. Maybe you come on your toes one at a time, just to feel how that feels. Always exploring, as I like to say, remaining curious. And then inhale, come into star. Take up lots of space. There's nothing like bringing a star pose into your day. One, you can think of the moon and the stars, or the fact that the sun is a star. But in general, doing this pose is supposed to build this uttermost confidence. And so take up as much space as you can here. Maybe you smile. And then exhale, come into your goddess once again. And now we're going to take some goddess to star jacks or flow, whatever you want to go. We're going to dance with it. So inhaling, straighten the legs, coming into a star, and then exhaling, moon. A few more like that. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, lengthen, find your star. Exhale, goddess. Last one. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful work. Straighten your legs and then come to stand at the top of your mat once again. Inhale, reach your fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, melt your belly towards your thighs, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, step your left foot back, coming into a low lunge, right side. So from here, find your alignment as we're in our week of alignment, hips facing forward, and our legs are on, a parallel lines here, like train tracks. And let's come into Kali Mudra. So our hands are going to be interlaced, but the pointer fingers are going to be connected, pointing. Yeah. So reach your hands up and overhead, coming into that Kali Mudra. And maybe lean a little bit more forward in your lunge, coming to more of like a crescent lunge. So inhale here, then exhale. Maybe you curl your toes under in the back here, coming into a half split, but hovering, really coming to find this balance and alignment here where we're not relying on our hands. So kind of seesaw back and forth here, keeping your hips nice and square. Don't even try to go super low here. This is a super mindful movement. It can also be super tricky. So see what feels nice between, that was my knee if you heard that, your toes tucked under in the back, or maybe pressing into the earth. A couple more breaths to explore here. And then from here, frame your right foot, curl the left toes under, and find your way into a three-legged down dog, your right heel up towards the sky. And then bring your heel or your foot back into the mat and find triangle legs. So your left foot is about a 45-degree angle and your right toes are pointing forward. Find your block if you need it. So come into triangle pose here. So your hand can come to a block, your ankle, or the floor as we find triangle. So your left fingertips up towards the sky, or they can come up and overhead. Gaze at the ground or at your left fingertips. Then exhale. Maybe you bring your fingertips to the ground as you find back of mat, left side skandasana. So left hand comes to the earth, active energy in that right foot as you open up to skandasana. Right fingertips up overhead towards the sky, gaze at the ground or the sky. Getting a nice, beautiful stretch in the hips and the groin. And then unravel and come to frame your left knee at the back of your mat and come into a pyramid pose. So now our left toes are facing the back of the mat, and now our right toes are kind of facing in that outward 45-degree angle. So inhale, bring your hands to your heart space. Staying nice and strong here, spine nice and long. Maybe you slightly tuck your chin. And then melt your belly towards your thigh. Allow your head to relax as we melt into our pyramid. Maybe you find some undulations, inhaling, finding some extra length. And exhale, melting, 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 melting. All right. Curl your right toes under and now lift your left heel towards the sky, finding a three-legged dog once again. Bring your foot in and through, coming to the outside edge of the right side of the back of your yoga mat, finding fallen triangle. Your foot can kind of be, take a look at the screen if you need, just as open as here. This is fallen triangle. Or you can try to make it a nice and open expression. So from here, we're going to bend in this right knee and kind of flow our triangles a little bit. Finding a little bit more fluidity in this super beautiful open posture. Wonderful. And then plant both your palms and come to find left side pigeon. If that was a lot for your left wrist, maybe do a little bit of wrist circles or wrist therapy. And let's try to stay nice and high in our pigeon. So no sleeping our pigeons today. Maybe you find a soft sway. Maybe you find some nice and slow undulations, inviting that energy from earlier with our child's pose, spinal waves. But staying nice and open here. Active energy in our right toes. All right. When you're ready, we're going to come back into a three-legged dog. So stepping that left heel up towards the sky once again. And step it behind your left palm and see if you can find a half moon. Your left hand can be on the floor or on a block. And if you feel very comfortable in your half moon, maybe you bend that right knee and grab your right foot with your right hand, coming into a even more balancing posture here. All right, unravel. Come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step it back, flow through a vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come back into that wide-legged position here. So it doesn't really matter what foot you use, but coming back to stand in our pressy Uttanasana feet, oh, whatever. I always screw that one up. And then finding goddess once again. Maybe you find stillness in your goddess today. This time in our goddess, let's pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, count faster, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on top of your right heel or toes. Sorry, lift your right heel, lift your left heel, lift your right heel, lift your left heel. Blah, 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 blah. I'm stumbling. And then make your way back to the top of your yoga mat. Maybe shake it out a little bit before we take that same little sequence to the other side. So inhale, reach towards the sky, and then exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then we're going to step the right foot back, coming into our left side crescent lunge. So inhale, find space here. Coming back into that Kali Mudra, square hips, and playing with that half split seesaw motion once again. Staying nice and high, keeping our alignment and that integrity in our alignment, that articulation. And then coming to frame that foot, step your left heel through and back, coming into a three-legged dog for a moment here. And then step that foot in between behind your left palm, coming to find triangle once again. So your left hand coming to a block, the earth or your ankle as you open up, finding triangle. Right hand up towards the sky or up and overhead. Breathing deep. Nice and strong in the obliques. Gaze at the ground or at the sky. And then we're going to take it all the way back to right side skandasana at the back of our yoga mat. So I'm not facing you, but reaching your left hand up towards the sky, right hand on the earth, maybe pointing or flexing that left foot. Okay, now turn to face the back of your mat once again and come and find your pyramid. So right toes are pointing towards the back of your mat and your left toes are on that 45-degree angle. Inhale, find length in your spine, hands at heart center for now, just a start. Breathing deep. Nice and strong here. And then exhale, melt your belly towards your thigh. Allow your head to hang loose, coming into a melted pyramid. We're not in pigeon yet. Inhale, find length. Exhale, soften. All right, curl those back toes under once again, plant your palms, and find your three-legged dog, right heel up towards the sky. Extra breath here. Then exhale, bring it in and through, finding your fallen triangle, coming onto the knife edge of your right foot, and then having your left foot parallel with the front of your mat. Find your fallen triangle expression, and once you feel good, you feel aligned, find a little flow by bending in that left knee, maybe even a little bit of your right knee, and melting those hips down and up. Once again, coming into this like seesaw motion. Find some expression with that left arm, nice and strong in your right arm and wrist and shoulder. And then plant your left palm and come and find your right side pigeon. Oh, pigeon never felt so good. Active energy in both toes. Find your soft sway or maybe your undulations, but staying nice and high in our pigeons today. All right, curl those left toes under, send that right heel up towards the sky for your three-legged dog once again. And then bring that right foot behind your right palm and come and find your half moon. Opening up with that left hand towards the sky, left foot kicking out, and your hand can come towards the sky, maybe up and overhead to your left hip, or if you're feeling super strong and super brave, maybe you grab the outside edge of that left foot with your left hand. If you kick into your hand, you can get more of this like dancer expression here. Or if you bring your heel towards your bum, you'll get way more of like a quad stretch. So maybe play around with that opposition of energy of pressing and pulling. Couple more breaths here in our balance and our strength. If you wobble, come back, shake it off, and then set yourself free. Plant that left foot and come into a wide-legged forward fold. I'm going to turn around so my butt isn't facing the camera. You guys don't have to worry about that though. So just bringing your hands to the earth. Maybe you stay nice and high here. If you need your blocks or want your blocks, go ahead and grab them. And then inhale, find your length in your spine, your alignment with your lower body, and melt it all the way down into your wide-legged forward fold. Beginning to cool down the practice now. Letting go of those sun salutations, letting go of that little lunar flow there. If you have headstand in your practice, maybe you play with a tripod headstand here. And then we'll all bring our hands back to underneath our shoulders. And then heel toe our heels into malasana feet. If you need to sit on your block, please do. Either on your toes, or maybe you sit on your heels, but make sure your spine is nice and long, not curved and hunched over. Maybe close your eyes and bring your hands to heart center. And then come to sit on your bum. We've got just a few more cooling down postures here. So bring your left knee in towards your chest, extend your right leg out long. We're going to come into Marachasana C. So inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky, and then either hugging your left knee or bringing your outside arm to the outside of your knee, and then planting your left palm behind your left butt cheek, creating space as you inhale, and then exhale as you twist. Not forcing anything. And then inhale, come back to center. And then bring your left palm a little bit behind your left butt cheek, kind of on a diagonal. And then reach your left fingertips up and overhead as you rise up and find wild thing. What? Marachasana seat a wild thing? Yeah, that's right. We just did that. And then exhale, float it back down. Allow that left knee to open, coming into Janu Sirsasana. If you need your strap, want your strap, please grab it now. Inhaling, finding length, and then exhale, melting your belly towards your right thigh, knee towards your nose. Take a generous bend in that right knee if you need. Letting go of anything that's no longer serving you. And then unravel, and we're going to take it to the other side. So allow your left leg to come out long and bring your right knee in towards your chest. Find your spine nice and long here as you inhale. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale, find your twist. Active energy in that left foot. Inhale as you find space, and then exhale as you twist maybe just a little bit deeper. Yesterday it was this beautiful, like 73-degree sunny day, and I was going to record this flow outside, but it was too windy. And the weather went right back to this coldish, it's not that cold, like 55-degree rainy day. It was a tease, a big old tease. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, bring your left palm behind your left butt cheek on a diagonal as you rise up and find your wild thing. Big final opening of the practice. Make it count. Enjoy. Smile. And then exhale, melt it all down. Allow that right knee to fall out as we come into Janu Sirsasana. Inhaling, creating space, finding length before we melt our bellies down, knee towards our nose. Well, nose towards our knee. Inhale, create a little more space, some more length. Exhale, melt, melt, melt away. Inhale, unravel. And we are going to come into about a 5-minute Shavasana. Don't you dare run away. Please, please stay to, allow the nutrients from this practice to absorb. Technically, all of our asana practice and preparation is preparation for, a little bit of meditation and self-reflection. So you can honestly do any expression you want, whether it's a comfortable seat, sitting on a block or a towel, a blanket, laying flat on your back. But today I invite you to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana variation. So it can be really nice to have your blocks for this. So bringing your heels together, your feet together like a book, and taking blocks underneath your knees, especially since we're going to be here for a few minutes. And then laying all the way down, flat on the mat. And let's bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly again as we begin our practice today. Feeling our breath underneath our bellies and underneath our heart space. I'll watch the timer, so allow yourself to really melt into the earth. Tuck your chin slightly to find this beautiful length in the spine. Always acknowledging and honoring that the neck is an extension of the spine. Allow your eyes to close. Maybe you have a little blanket to cover the eyes if it's super bright out. Relishing in this softness and giving thanks for our bodies, for being able to even practice yoga and put ourselves in shapes that can be challenging at times, but in general are very good for us. Shining light in the dark places, opening places that stay closed for most of the day, especially right now as we really quiet and soften, and I'll be quiet really soon. Allowing yourself to go inward, or for some just to turn off and be present and melt away in this stillness and this quiet. The day is always waiting for you. There's always things that need to be done. But right now, this is for you. Don't rush away. Don't worry about what's next. Remain present. Let everything go and see what remains. I'm going to be quiet so we can enjoy some quiet, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'll check back in when we're done here. Start to bring awareness back to your body. Maybe you start to deepen your breath. Allow your head to rock gently side to side, ear to ear. Coming back into your environment. Maybe noticing any sounds. Maybe noticing anything that might have come up. The birds are back here, and I'm pretty familiar with a decent amount of bird songs in my area. And there's this little bird that's just been going crazy in the most beautiful ways, honestly. Been bringing a smile, but I have no idea what bird it is. But that whole time, it was just chirping away so happily. Anyway, maybe you had a little birdie of your own. You can make your way slowly back to a comfortable seat. Maybe before that, you rock your hips gently side to side after you bring them together. Maybe you find yourself in a soft love hug. Maybe you do a little happy baby. You can start to open your eyes as well, flexing the toes. And make your way back to a comfortable seat if that's where you'd like to go. But as always, you can stay in your Shavasana as long as you wish. Don't let me stop you. But let's all, whether you're laying down or not, bring your hands into a prayer position at your heart, maybe to your third eye or your mouth, wherever resonates with you today. As we bring our practice to a close, maybe you say a little prayer or give thanks or simply recognize all the beautiful work you've done today and this journey. Working on ourselves so we can be better people in the world. The light in me acknowledges the light in you, balancing our light and our dark, just as this beautiful equinox season does the same. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed that full spring equinox flow practice. Only 10 days to go. Makes me a little sad. Anyway, leave a comment or question on the video. Like it if you liked it, or subscribe, share it if you think someone else would benefit from it. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for day 21.